Hey guys, my name is Anthony and in today's video we're going to be doing episode 5 of my Alfa Romeo career mode series. So if you want to see more career mode videos similar to this, make sure to hit the like button and stick around by subscribing to the channel. I'm going to make sure to get some more career mode videos out because recently I've not been doing them. I think the last time I made a career mode video was 8 days ago or 9 days ago now. So I promise I'll get the career mode videos out a little bit more often. So as you can see, we're checking the standings here just to familiarize ourselves really with what's going on. But yeah, I was thinking of just changing the engine components because some of them were getting worn, so I wanted to change them for qualifying and the race today. So moving on, we're at the Spanish GP and you can see we're already doing our first quali lap. It wasn't the best first lap in the world, to be honest with you guys. There was a lot of time that I left on the table here. I was really just sort of getting a feel for the car and getting a feel for the track really. So as we cross the line, you can see we do a 17.0, which is terrible. You can see me scratching my head there because I was really confused about how terrible it was. But moving on to the second lap that we did in Q1, and as you can see we are 4 tenths up and we did a 16.6, which was a little bit better. It put us in 13 at the time, but as you can see we moved down to 14th, but luckily we managed to get through to Q2 with our teammate. So moving on to the first lap now of Q2, as you can see we're on the medium tyres. I decided to hold off on the softs and just do one run on the softs in Q2. So we actually did a run on the medium tyres and this run was pretty good and actually proved how bad our first run in Q1 was. As you can see, we were only 0.003 of a second down on our first time in Q1 on soft tyres with medium. So yeah, but moving on to the end of Q2 now, we're about to do our second and quickest lap of the session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you guys here to let you see a quali lap of Spain. So as we come up to the final couple of corners now, we did pretty well in this lap actually. There was still some time left on the table. The car just wasn't that quick this weekend in both quali and the race, which you'll see later on. But yeah, we come through now to do a 1 minute 16.2, so it was a pretty good lap. Still some time left on the table, but either way we ended up qualifying in 14th place and being knocked out in Q2 with Esteban Ocon, our rival Kvyat, Lance Stroll and our teammate Giovinazzi. So what I'm going to do is leave you guys here and we'll move on straight to the race.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hot spot for overtakes. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas The Finn starts from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Alexander Albon, and Ricciardo, Sainz, Norris, Perez, and Daniel Kvyat, Hamilton, Stroll, Iceman, and Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Gasly, George Russell, and Kevin Magnussen, Latifi, and Esteban Ocon rounds off the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Hey guys, so before we get into the race, I wanted to quickly mention that I did actually record this race yesterday, but my PC turned off with just 5 laps to go. I've updated you guys on various different platforms, so you've probably seen it already. So sadly it didn't come out yesterday, but I'm recording it now and it'll be going up the same day that I'm recording the race. So yeah, getting into it, we're going to be doing a one-slot strategy, mediums to hards. Probably just the best strategy. It could definitely go to the end because on my TSRL evaluation race I did soft to hards and that still made it to the end. So mediums to hards will allow me to sort of push a little bit more. And Lewis Hamilton actually got a 10 grid place penalty, so he's right in front of us here actually, which is surprising. But yeah, let's see if we can maybe even get ourselves above one of the Mercedes cars. Doubt it, but you know, you never know, the dream could live on. So let's get into it. I will see you guys after the formation lap. Alright, here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights. And 5 lights and away we go. Getting a very good start here. Already overtaking Hamilton. Got a pretty poor start. Going to be on the outside going into turn 1. And there we go. We found ourselves in 10th place already. Which is incredible. What a start. Probably going to try and go down the inside of Perez here. Pretty easy move. Especially on the first lap. We're behind Lando Norris now. Okay, well we just need to get our heads down and see what we can do. Our pace isn't that good around here compared to the AI, or at least compared to our teammate Kvyat, because when I was recording yesterday it was pretty difficult to keep up with him, to be honest with you guys. So we're going to have to do a lot today. Probably going to have to concentrate quite a bunch, which means no talking. But this was a pretty good start to this race. Very happy with how it's gone. Already in 9th place. So what I'm going to do now, as we come up to the end of the first lap already, is keep my head down for a few laps and see what happens once the pack starts to really spread itself and isn't as tight as it is right now. So I'll see you guys in a couple of laps when something interesting happens. Got our first one in there. Pretty difficult on this track with this car, cannot lie. This car is very, very understeery. If you look at turn 3, there's a lot of cars that could probably do that turn completely flat out and not have to worry, whereas us, we have to lift off quite a bit. We're losing quite a lot of ground to Norris as I get our second warning, I believe. Yep, there we go. It's already only been 2 laps and we've got 2 warnings, so highly likely we're going to get a penalty in this race. Just got to keep my head down and just try and do damage limitation from here on out. Even though we've not got the penalty yet, it's probably guaranteed we will get it. So just got to do my best to really just do as best as we can to really lose the effect of that penalty. I couldn't think of what I was trying to say there. But yeah, once again, get my head down, see what we can do over these next couple laps, and I'll be back with you guys when something interesting does happen. Well, here comes Perez. Gonna have to do a bit of defending. I just don't have the pace of some of these cars, the Alfa Romeo car. It's not just me. Giovinazzi's obviously been a little bit slower than me during the qualifying there. And in the race, I'm not sure what his pace is looking like, but it's probably not as quick as ours, probably a couple of tenths slower. So it's just the car, to be honest with you. It's not necessarily me being slow, but this car is just not quick compared to some of the cars around us. So being as in a position of 9th place, especially when we've got 2 racing points and Lewis Hamilton behind us, yeah, this is probably not going to be kept for very long. And as you can see, we have to lift off quite a bit going into turn 3, whereas most cars don't. So I think the Racing Point, luckily, is one of the cars that do have the lift off. But the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton behind them, he doesn't have to do that, so... Well, he might have to do it in dirty air, which is probably what's keeping him behind the 2 Racing Points, actually. As you can see from our position, even in clean air, we've still got to lift off on corners like turn 3 and turn 9. Okay, so we're on lap 13 lap old medium tyres, and we're still going quicker, but as you can see, Charles Leclerc, like 2 seconds quicker than us right now. And they're all breathing down our necks here. So this is quite intense for me. That's why I'm trying to keep as quiet as possible. We're keeping a respectable distance from Stroll, to be fair, which I'm very, very happy about. Considering that Kvyat in the previous race was just way too quick for us. I think maybe that previous race has given us the little experience we need to really carry this car around this track. So I'm happy with that. I mean, we do still have a penalty, but our pace has definitely improved. So maybe it was a silver lining that happened to me with the PC turning off. Still quite annoyed about it because it's the first time it's happened since I've gotten the new PC parts. And it hasn't happened since, so I'm assuming it was a freak accident. But either way, maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Alright, that's Verstappen pitting. So we're leading the race for the first time, I think, in this career mode. We are leading the race. So we get another penalty there. Not very good. But Lewis Hamilton has already pitted, so we're going to be pitting this lap to respond to his pit there. Alright, here we go. End of the lap. Getting ready to pit. Go, get the car slowed down. Let's see if we can get a good stop from the boys. Usually around about 3.1 seconds is what we're looking at, so anything quicker than that will be really, really nice. There we go, 2.8. That was a really good pit stop. Happy with that one. Let's see where Lewis Hamilton is. There he is. Looks like he's just going to pass us. Yeah, he just passed us. Alright, well, that's the end of us keeping Lewis Hamilton behind us. Him being in the Mercedes now, he's probably going to fly away. However, we're still in conjunction for a good amount of points because we've just done our one and only pit stop, whereas a lot of the guys ahead still have one more stop to go. So this is a pretty favourable position that the one stop puts us in. So let's see what we can do from here. It all depends on what we do on the hard tyres in this stint. As you can see, Hamilton is already just gone completely. Here's Kvyat and our teammate as we zoom past them as well. Max Verstappen is probably going to win this race. He's in the more favourable strategy, in the more favourable position, because I think he was either on pole or close to it, and he's on the same strategy as us, so he shouldn't need to pit again, whereas the guys behind him still need to. So Max Verstappen's probably going to be the person who wins this race, but we'll see what happens. Come closer to the end of the race. 16 laps done already, so we're just about halfway through. That was a pretty bad turn 8 there, but as I was saying, we're just about halfway through. So once again, I'm going to get my head down, concentrate in this stint, and see exactly what we can do with this car. Alright, there you go. I think that's some of the front runners going for their second and final pit stop, I believe. So that means we're definitely fighting for position now. Just waiting for some of the other guys to pit. We're still going a little bit quicker. Hard tyres really getting into shape right now. My pace has been looking alright. And just like on the medium stint, we've been keeping Stroll in a relatively respectable position. So I'm happy with how it's going now. But we've still got about 14 laps to go, so I'm going to keep my head down and make sure that we secure as many points as we can in this race. So I'll see you guys again once something interesting happens. Oh, well there you go. I guess I don't need to do any cutting here. Something interesting pretty much happened straight away. Daniel Ricciardo retiring from this race. First retirement. With that Renault engine, I don't know. Usually something's always going wrong with that Renault engine, so it could be that. It could be something else, I'm not too sure, but either way. I think Ocon's behind us, so if we get a second Renault retirement, it's not going to affect us as much. For the past couple of laps, I want to say for like the past 4 laps, Stroll has been getting to our gearbox by the end of the straight, but we're getting decent enough exits off of that final corner to really keep him behind here, so I'm pretty happy. Very happy with how things are going. You can see they're still breathing down our gearbox, but we're just managing to do enough. The dirty air's really been helping us this race, because it's keeping Stroll at that respectable 5 tenths. You just can't get any closer with the dirty air, especially in that final sector. Really kills him, and then we just get a decent exit because we're in clean air on that final corner, which is just enough to keep him behind down the straight. So because of that dirty air, we're at a sort of stalemate right here, which I will be more than happy to keep going. We're at lap 26. When I recorded this race yesterday, the computer turned off at lap 28, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. I'll be checking the computer right around about lap 28, make sure nothing's going on. Maybe it just overheated. But yeah, we use a bit of overtake, and then we stop, and it should be enough to keep him behind us. As you can see, he's definitely gaining, so he's using a lot of his straight line speed, his engine, but it's just not enough. Here we go, coming into lap 28 now. We're still going faster, and we're on 14 lap old tyres. And we've actually broken the DRS of Stroll, which is pretty good. That was a pretty good last sector there. So, somehow getting quicker. I think it's just because we're running out of the fuel now, which is good. I think these final few laps are the laps where I'm really going to want to push here. Really cement our position. We've got 5th place right now, and looking at some of the people behind us, we're probably going to end up in maybe 8th or 9th because of this penalty we've got. Oh, yellow flag behind us. Ooh, Alex Albon, it looks like, retiring from this race. That's a free position for us because he was right on our tail along with the others. That was God's gift right there. Right as I was saying that, you know, with the 3 behind us, we're probably going to be in 8th or 9th place due to our penalty. God sends us a gift, and Alex Albon ends up retiring. But yeah, if you guys are still watching right about now, we've got the Italian Grand Prix later on today, at the time of recording this, so let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of the race, because obviously the race will be done already by the time that this comes out. So let me know what you thought of the race. Was it boring? Did Lewis Hamilton win again? Probably. Okay, coming up to the final lap now. This is going to be close between Stroll and I. They've been really gaining on us the past couple of laps. Here we go. Okay, I think we've done enough because we've managed to keep them both behind us whenever we've made it through the first sector in front. But as you've seen, Sebastian Vettel overtaking Lance Stroll there. So that's a bit of a shame. He's managed to keep him behind for most of the race, or most of this second stint anyway. There you go, my prediction was right, guys. Max Verstappen ends up winning on the same strategy as us. And right now, we are looking to secure 7th place due to our penalty. Might as well let Sebastian Vettel go. Because I mean, yeah, sure, on merit, you know, on track we could have finished in 5th place. But we're not going to finish in 5th. Either way, so doesn't really matter, I guess. As we come through the final corner now. There we go. pretty nice race. This has been pretty good. I've enjoyed the race. Our pace has been pretty good.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Okay guys, so as you can see, Max Verstappen ends up taking the victory here with Valtteri Bottas getting in second place with the fastest lap, and then Charles Leclerc rounding off the podiums, and then we've got Lewis Hamilton, Vettel, Stroll, myself. Because of a 3-second time penalty, we should have finished in 5th, but because of the 3-second time penalty, we ended up in 7th. And then we've got a rival, Kvyat, Steins, Ocon rounding off the top 10, and then we've got Lando Norris, my teammate, Gasly, Perez, Grosjean, Russell, Magnussen, and Latifi being the final finisher, with Daniel Ricciardo and Alex Albon being the retirees. So let's see what that does to the standings. Valtteri Bottas is still in the lead, but Lewis Hamilton is closing a little bit. You know, there's only 10-point gap now between those two. And then Charles Leclerc is in 3rd place. We are in 7th place now, overtaking Carlos Sainz, which is really good so far. We're showing a really strong season. Our teammate, sadly, still no points for him. He is the top person in terms of people with no points, but that doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. We're still in 7th place when it comes to the constructors. However, we're only a single point now behind McLaren and Renault, and we're 2 points ahead of AlphaTauri. So if we can keep this momentum up of scoring points, we should be, you know, really getting towards the racing point very, very soon. So yeah, it's looking good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the back end, see if there's anything we need to do, and if not, we'll end the video right there. Okay guys, so going into the R&D, if we look at our R&D tree, the upgrades have come through. When I first got into the headquarters, the aerodynamics upgrade that we made right here, it did fail, but I just immediately re-upgraded it, and it came through before the Baku race here. So pretty happy for that. At least we've got some aerodynamic upgrades coming through, since this is probably our weakest point in the car. So yeah, pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here. Any of the stuff that I need to do, I'll do off screen and showcase in the next episode. So if you like this episode, make sure to hit the like button and stick around by subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I do apologize for the video coming out late, but you know, I couldn't really help the PC turning itself off. So I'll see you guys soon.